Besides this is obviously going to be this. If you want to know what really happened, you need to watch this. This is the only place you're going to get this type of interview or
I don't really know what this is, but I didn't do it. I'm innocent, Judge. I'm not guilty. I'm innocent.
We, the jury, being duly impaneled and sworn, find the defendant, Matthew L. Moore, not guilty of murder, as he stands charged in count 1 of the indictment.
Yo. How we do, people? We got Trinity in the house. How we doing, Trinity? You all right?
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. Oh, you're muted. You're unmuted. How's life?
Okay.
You okay?
Yes.
Is it live on your channel? That's the question.
I don't know. How would I know?
It should say live at the top of your page on your StreamYard. Let's have a look. No, it's not live. But
so how do I hit live?
It should be at the top or in your dashboard, wherever it was. Because it normally says go live. Well, you should have gone live automatically, but technical issues as per. But don't stress about it though. If it's not gone live, it's not gone live. There's nothing we can do. Right? It's all good. It is what it is. This is welcome to YouTube world, as we say it in the YouTube world. Nothing goes right in the YouTube, but we do try.
It does say stream to your audience, but I don't know.
Yeah, you should say that. I just press yes or press record, and if you press whatever it says there, press it. Press, and that means it should run record to your audience. So fiddle with that, see if you can figure that one out. I never do this, so I'm no help to you on that bit. But whilst we're doing on that, I want to welcome Mexi Texi. Hello, Mex. How we doing, my darling? Hope you're well. Yes, membership's always open, always, good. Talk about members. Maria Martin. Hello, Maria. Nice to see you. Thanks for becoming a Partington member. Lovely to see new faces around this place. So we need it. So thank you, Maria. Now, Trinity, for your very first stream with me, it wouldn't be a stream if we didn't have this guy in chat. This guy is someone that'll be in your streams, I'm sure, in the future. His name's Jonathan. Now, Jonathan, he's supposed to be an audio king.
Okay, well, hello, Jonathan.
He's got me to buy like 4 mics, 4 mixers, all broken. I have no idea. No, Jonathan's a lovely guy. He is a great guy. He is our King Joker. He is our modern Discord. He is a great guy. And I don't try and build him up too much, but he is a great guy to have in chat. So any questions, Jonathan always answers them. So not guilty of less. Cool. So this is your first, this is our first stream together. And you're new to YouTube. And as you can see, you're new to YouTube because have you managed to actually connect now or not?
I don't know. I guess I didn't.
Let me have another look here. It's all good though. Look, at the end of the day, what it means is that it's not recording, but we can fix that for next time because today's not today's just more of an intro for us and having a discussion. But by next one, we'll get it sorted. Not an issue whatsoever. And it just means that it doesn't mean that much. It just means that you get some videos on your channel. But what we can do is I can download this anyway and send it to you, and you can upload it.
Okay.
So it's not. I say chill. It's not a massive issue. Another one of my mods, Mexi Texi's here. Yeet. She's also awesome. Well, to be fair, I'm lucky. You'll find it in time. You'll have to have mods, and it's more important than anything to get the right kind of mods, and I definitely have got the right kind of mods because they're all women, and they all tell me what to do. So, and they all, whenever I get something wrong, they tell me. My ego's inflated. Shut up, Jonathan. Hello, Trinity. Mexi Texi, mate. So,
hello.
Obviously, for the chat, Trinity is his first time doing this properly. Obviously, you've done a little bit in the past, but you're going to be a little bit nervous. So the chat is going to be lovely. The chat is going to be lovely towards you. If they're nasty to you, they get straight out. They're kicked out. So
I'm pretty familiar with criticism.
It's all good. It's all good. But whilst we go into it, I want to just discuss a little bit about you. Who is Trinity Moses? I see there you got host and paralegal, but tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you from? What do you do?
Well, as most of you know, some of you may know, I'm a paralegal. I've been a paralegal for 13 plus years. I've done some work with crime and cast with evidence, looking over cases and things. But I do analyze and examine high-profile cases, and I cover things like on TMZ and so forth that relate to the criminal justice and the legal field.
And yeah, because you're one thing that I'm not. I it's looking deep diving and stuff, which is great. I'm good at it, but I need somebody to organize it. And you're just that person. You've got you love that side of it. Yeah,
that's right.
I love it. I love it. Sounds tedious. I know, Jonathan. We're guys though. Do you know what I mean? We don't do this kind of stuff. But I'm grateful that you can. But you touched upon a lot of different categories. You're covering the minute. You're covering Murdaugh. You're covering Kohberger. Any of the cases you deep diving into, or are you just concentrating on them at the minute?
Well, right now I'm just focused on Kohberger and Murdaugh because Murdaugh alone is a full-time job. His cases are full-time job, but primarily right now, I'm sure that I will. I'll take more on later, but right now that's basically what I'm focused on is those two high-profile cases.
Good. Here we go. We've got Perry here from London. Hey, Dylan, Trinity, Jonathan. Hey, Jonathan. Perry. Hey, Perry. Before I forget, let's share your link in so we get some subscribers. What you'll find is normally this is the wrong time of day in a way to stream because some streams it's like half full with you, I think. But a lot of people will be viewing this on replay. So because of that, guys, please make sure you go and subscribe to Trinity for all things trials. I mean, look, I'm happy that we're doing this together, but I'm sure you're going to have loads of other stuff. Hey, you're the queen of TikTok, it seems. You do lots on TikTok. I saw some videos; they were great.
I do a little bit of TikTok. I'm not as good as Crumb and Cask. I haven't been able to devote the time to it, should I say? No. But I do a little bit. I share a little bit of videos and go over a little bit of crime things, and but yeah, my plans are to go and devote a little bit more time to it because that's what I really enjoy. I really enjoy doing those things.
Oh, that's fine. It's still early doors for you. You don't know what path you're going yet. So I'm 10 months into this. I still haven't found my foundation yet. So it takes time. It takes time, man. Honestly, it does. What's your YouTube? Not YouTube. What's your Twitter handle? You know what?
Which one? I'm sorry.
Your ex Twitter, whatever your name is.
Oh, my Twitter is Trinity Moses 10 for Twitter.
There we are. So most of these guys actually aren't on Twitter, but those are Replay Crew. Go and follow Trinity there. Trinity Moses 10. You know what to do. Give that a follow. We followed each other for a while. I never know who I follow, but I like your content, I like your stuff, I like your opinions. You always got something to say, which is good. So yeah, thank you, Perry, for subscribing to Trinity. That's what we're after. That's what we want. And as I say, maybe the video is not gone live. Yeah, it's not gone live for her yet, but we'll download this and send it to her so she can upload this as well. So what we've got in the chat is some loyal people that will always, support wherever they can. So you'll be sorted. Right. Are you ready? Are you ready to go into a bit of this? Are you okay? I know you've got some people around you as well. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm good.
That's fine. Right. So what we'll do is we'll spend a little bit of time on this because I know you know a lot about this. I've done some videos about this already. I've really ranted and raving and stuff like that. But in terms of Alex Murdaugh, so obviously, for people that don't know, the hearing happened this week. Well, technically started last Friday, came into this week, and he's been denied a retrial. His appeal was denied based on what they put forward. But maybe you can explain a little bit about what happened, what were they appealing for, and what's the next? Well, maybe just explain to these guys what were they appealing for, and maybe what the verdict was.
Right. Okay, so the thing with the Murdaugh case was the retrial was, she set the burden very, very high, and which Murdaugh did meet that burden. But basically, it was to prove that there was jury tampering. So whenever the juror came up there and she stated it did alter her verdict, and that the clerk made it seem as though he was already guilty. So she was obviously influencing them. There were multiple. I was actually surprised at some of this stuff that was stated with the jurors, but even though they met that, she stated that they didn't meet they met their burden, but they did not meet the allegations that were in the stipulations of the statute, I guess you could say. But they did prove that Miss Hill was not credible, that she had influenced the jurors, obviously, but not enough to alter the verdict, is what the judge was trying to say. But of course, that's going to go to a higher court, and hopefully we'll be able to get that overturned and get his conviction changed. Because clearly the judge even made her own opinion. She stated that she read over the script, and that she did see that there was ample amounts of evidence to convict him, what have you. So basically she felt as though he was guilty. It wasn't so much there wasn't juror tampering, but that's not what this retrial was about. It was about juror tampering. Did this alter the verdict? Yes. So I feel like she just didn't want that burden on her if he were to be released, and she felt as though he was guilty.
And it's interesting, Perry's chipped in and said, I watched something of the appeal, and I was the same, Perry, I didn't watch it all. Harpoolian messed up big time by essentially submitting impeachment evidence against the juror. Do you know anything about this, Trinity?
He did submit some evidence to impeach Miss Hill. I don't know that it would have messed up anything really bad, because I think that Miss Hill's got quite a bit of trouble that she's going to be in, and I think this is ultimately going to be pretty devastating for her. But I mean, he could have, but I'm not so sure that it would have, been the amount of evidence against Miss Hill.
Yeah, that's fair. We've got more people here. Tim, Dave's here. Dave will be sending you flowers in a little bit. Dave likes to give all the ladies flowers in the chat, so expect some flowers, Trinity. So I'm not sure, Trinity, if you've met this woman before. This woman it seems we've been dating, me and this woman for ages, right? She keeps dumping me and coming back at me. Keeps dumping and coming back, and the name's Lady Law. I'm not sure if we met her before, if you heard about her. I
have not met her yet.
No, she's an attorney from Oklahoma. She goes, "Oh, I love the accent." So she loves your accent. It's so much better than mine. No wonder you're cheating. So she thinks I'm cheating on her by having you on here. No, just you dumped me so many times, Lady Law. I've got to get some more talent on here. You know what I mean? So, so yeah, Lady Law. I'm sure she'll be on here at some point. She's lovely. She's great. She's an attorney, as I say, from Oklahoma.
Now she has saved. She shared some of my things, I think, on Twitter and stuff. We have interacted quite a bit on Twitter and in our comments and stuff. Yeah, we have this. We share the same opinions and things as far as
Well, just don't act like her, because as I say, she keeps dumping me and throwing me out. So don't you do the same, please. Don't get too big and forget about me. So no, you're in the next room. I know. No, we'll get Lady Law on. Yeah, she is a friend of mine. She's someone I'm super close with, and she's one of my, as I say, besties. So we'll get her on here. Right, Lady Law, long time no see. Sea flowers are starting to come out now. Right, F off the love. So you've already got someone on your side here. Lady Law loves you already. So I'll just, I'll try to be a little bit devil's advocate here as well when we come to this. A lot of people say, when it comes to Murdaugh, does he really? Well, this is not my opinion, by the way. I've given my opinions many times about this case, but just to see your opinion. But many people think, well, I mean, who cares if he lost the appeal? Because at the end of the day, he's guilty. So he's murdered his wife and child. So why prolong it? Just he's guilty anyway. So why we keep appealing? Why do people care about it? Why are people going to battle for it? And maybe that's something you can touch upon, Trinity, if you've got something to say on that. Oh, you moved it.
I apologize.
There we are. No.
Well, the thing is how do they really know that he's guilty? Because number one, the jury was completely persuaded. Most people feel like he was guilty based on the fact that he was convicted by the jury. But I think that people just got the wrong opinion. I think with the financial crimes, that just absolutely ruined his case, and that should never be allowed. And I hope that things will be changed by next, the retrial. But I think those who think that he's guilty are basing this off of a closed-minded aspect. I think if you really look into it, and the reason why I feel this way is because I myself have encountered and seen many cases that where people look so guilty, but we really, if you look into it deeply, they're not. If you look into all the tiny aspects of the evidence, it's easy to assume someone's guilty versus actually putting in the effort and looking to see if they're guilty. And if you're not willing to put in that work to really look at all the aspects of the evidence and see if someone's really guilty, then you don't need to make your opinion. That's just my thoughts on that.
No, that's great. That's great thoughts. I'll give you my thoughts in a second here. But as I was saying, David just sent you a flower in chat as well. You see on screen.
Thank you.
Trinity. I think it's a tulip, I'm thinking it is. But he is a little bit, he does this to all the women. So don't get taken in with him. He does this to all the women. So he's 69 and he's a charmer. He's a charmer.
He's a charmer.
Yeah. So Becky Hill behavior was outrageous. Perry, yes, I agree. It's should be kept out. I agree. So I go similar stance. Look, I'm not sure. Again, I don't know where you stand on what you thought about the 6 weeks, obviously the financial crimes and stuff, but I didn't feel like, even with the financial crimes, that they proved beyond a reasonable doubt that he was guilty. I was quite staunch about that. But I also, on the flip side of that, I was also of the opinion that I couldn't stand, that he would have been involved or could have been involved. So I'm not exonerating him fully by saying there's no way he did it, because I do think chances are that he probably was somehow involved, some way or another. I'm not sure how, but we need to have another trial to figure that one out. And that's where I stand. So because of that, I would have voted not guilty, because they did not prove beyond a reasonable doubt. Because I can tell you now, there's no way one person did all of that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that's why they didn't prove it. So even though I'm not like a staunch like Alex Murdaugh fan, I am a fan of the judicial process and for every defendant to receive a fair trial. So whether you think he is guilty, based on what you saw, in my opinion, it doesn't matter, because there's just too many question marks. Going back to what you just said about the financial crimes was one. Now we know what Becky Hill influenced the jury. As far as I was concerned, once I heard the first juror say that she influenced her decision on that Monday, that's end of. It's influenced the decision. That's how I thought. But obviously,
Yeah, and
that's not quite as easy to say.
And think about it. The trial was, if he was guilty of murdering them, a lot of people stated that they feel like that he didn't pull the trigger, that he didn't initially murder them. They just feel like he was a part of it or had part of the scheme.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Eddie Smith, his friend Eddie, he failed a lie detector test. Now we know that lie detector tests are inconsistent, but at the same time, it kind of makes you question things, because that's the one that he's kind of done a lot of dealings with. Even as much as trying to shoot him. Eddie Smith was part of that. I mean, that's something to think about. So, I mean, okay, if you think that he might have been a part of it, but that's not what he's being tried for. He's being tried for killing them himself. So
yeah. And we got mixed views. We got mixed views in chat. Tim, guilty as fuck, but still, as Tim says, but still deserves a fair trial.
Right.
I'm with Perry. I think Alex Murdaugh was at least present for an organized crime. I'm probably on those lines, but then that still didn't prove beyond a reasonable doubt. That's not what they proved in their case, which is why, I'm not saying I'm going to go to war over Alex Murdaugh, but I'm going to war over a fair process.
Right.
I think that's the difference here. So hello, Dave, as well. Oh, Jesus. The reason he deserves an appeal is to ensure court clerks understand the importance of non-interference. And I posted this on Twitter the other day. I was like, I believe now that it's open season now, that every court clerk can now influence any jury they want, because they've started a precedent where, this case law is going to be now, well, she got away with it. Why can't we get away with it? Type of thing. Where does that line? I think that line is now murky about your relationships with the jury, what you can and can't do. And I think, unfortunately, Judge Toll has blurred it even more now, I think. That's just my opinion. But I will say one positive, though. I will say this about Judge Toll. From what I saw, the one thing I did like about her was, she offered transparency. Not all judges does that. Whether you think she's awful or whatever, and whether you agree or not with her decision, she made it transparent. And the other part of it, I was like, there was no messing about. I do believe that she probably made her mind up before coming in. I do believe that. I thought her questioning was very poor.
I do too.
I didn't like her questioning. I think it was very poor. And there's a few other question marks, but I will applaud her for transparency, because that doesn't happen everywhere. So, whether you agree with it, and I don't agree with it, but still applaud her for that at least. But yeah, what else we got here? Say judicial. I can't say judicial, but you spelled it wrong, haven't you? Judicial. I think they proved he was present. Same here. I think they proved to some extent, or was involved somewhere. So there we are. Anyway, we can debate this back and forth again. Ultimately, I think we all agree that no matter whether you think he's guilty or not, it just wasn't a fair trial.
Right.
I do believe he deserves another trial. And you've got to remember, he's still got 27 years in prison anyway for the financial crimes. So he's going to be in there. He's a piece of shit, in my opinion. Alex Murdaugh is a piece of shit for what he did to all those families and stuff like that. So he's in the right place anyway. But let's have another trial for the murders before it's too late. Right. Well, right. We're not going to go into it, guys, because the video proved it, this and that proved it. We could be here all night discussing Murdaugh and stuff like that. At the end of the day, no one's going to agree. If you think that he's innocent, you can say the video is irrelevant because the time wasn't dated, and we could go back and forth.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's so much on this, guys, that I think, in some ways, Trinity, I've lost. Not that I've lost interest in it, but I think, like you probably more than me, we've been bogged down in Alex Murdaugh for so long now. If I'm being honest, I'm getting a little bit fed up of it, which is why I was disappointed with that verdict.
It's easy to get burned out with cases sometimes. And what people don't understand a lot with court cases is like people fail to think like how much work is put into a court case. there's a lot of work. Like, we cover these cases on YouTube and things like that, but imagine working them, every aspect of it, researching. It's easy to get burned out on these cases. So it takes a lot of passion and drive to continue to research and study these cases and try to fight and just think there's more cases. Like, for example, me as a paralegal, there's more cases than just that one. So, I mean, there's a lot of work put into it. I know the Miss Lady Law, she would understand my views on how much is put into it and how draining it can become. So I completely understand what you're saying. It's easy to get burned out.
Yeah, and that's a good point. You're not just concentrating on one trial. Normally you're juggling various paperwork for different trials that have come in or just been passed, and it's not just the current one, because you might be appealing another one, and you might be having an upcoming one. Especially as a paralegal, you could be everywhere doing so much, So total respect for that. That's an insight that we don't get. So yeah, that's Murdaugh. That's the gist of Murdaugh. I think it'd be nice for him to get another trial, but it's not happening for any time soon. I don't think. They said something about it might take up to 8 years or something by the time they get to it, which is a bit like, I mean, by that point, well, either technology is going to catch up, but we'll have better technology that might be able to help. But the one thing I'll say is that when you look at that trial, you can't tell me that it wasn't funny business, because the OnStar data and stuff like that, on the one day they said they couldn't get the data. The very next day they had all the data. So for me, there's a lot of question marks, and there's not just that. I think there's a lot of question marks for me about South Carolina, how you can have family members sitting on the jury, and also Becky wanted her daughter on there stuff. It's just I just think corruption's rife. And I don't agree with it. And when you've got some podcast pushing rubbish out there as well, I'm not going to give them a name because fuck them, I don't like them. It's so important that for me, you look at different people's narratives. You don't have to agree with me or Trinity. Right. You know the score, guys. Go and listen to various people's opinions. Just don't be a sheep, So, right. What we got here? They say, if I close my eyes, I'm hearing Dolly Parton. Love Southern ladies. Y'all. I love the y'all bit.
I have always hated my accent. Always.
No, don't. It's
so I'm glad you guys like it.
It's lovely. I love it. I love that accent.
Thank
honestly.
you.
Right. Before Dave stops flirting again, right? Kohberger. Now we're talking. Now we're talking my kind of cup of tea here, because I'm fed up of Murdaugh, because I think he's a piece of shit anyway. But Kohberger, I'm interested in Kohberger. Interesting story about me, one of many. I became interested in trials and stuff like that because of Kohberger. So it actually became, and this is why I'm saying this story, because this is important, because it became national news, international news. Kohberger did when it happened. And the only reason I note that is because, obviously, with going to the motion now about changing venues and stuff like that, I know the state said, it is what it is, or whatever. This is huge. There has to be a change of venue, and that's what I thought at the time. Because I did a stream on it last week, and I had people from my village popping in and being like, geez, this, I know about this. And they don't follow true crime. So Kohberger is huge. So how did you get involved with Kohberger? What piqued your interest with it, and how deep are you in so far?
Well, I haven't done a lot of research, which for me, most people would think it's a lot of research, but for me, it's not. But I have extensive, I have researched it somewhat, should I say? Example, the aspects of, which this is a sealed case, so it's hard to get any information off of it. The last court hearing, his attorney said something really interesting. She said that they've still not provided her all of the terabytes, or the full terabyte of the evidence. And she made statements as if, like, based on evidence that they're providing, they're wondering why they have Kohberger arrested? Like, why is he being incarcerated whenever this is all that they provided them? You know, show some proof this man's been in here for a pretty good while. And for me, now I usually like to, if I'm going to build a case, I like to build it on a case that I feel someone is innocent, but I can also do that if they're not innocent, just based off the fact that guilty is based off of evidence. So if you can't provide all of that evidence, then according to the state, he's innocent. So I would hope that they were going to present more evidence. I think that they have pretty good evidence, but at the same time, what people don't understand is you have to look at it from a defense standpoint. Do they have enough that they can't come back and say this, this, and that? So based off what they've provided, that evidence is easily blown off and defended according to another attorney. So based off the evidence they provided, it's easily explainable, basically, in a simpler form in court. It's easily thought.
Yeah. And hello, Nunya, by the way. You can't chat, but hello, Nunya, in chat. Right. So it's interesting because obviously, for those that are new, and most people are new to this trial, most people know it, but essentially he was arrested for having bushy eyebrows.
Right.
And essentially, people think he's been in the house for like 12 times. He's been here and he's been. So I've done streams with other creators. We've torn it down. We've looked at different things. They got the car make wrong at the start. It's changed and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's touch DNA that places him there. But the more and more you look at touch DNA, the more and more you realize it's unreliable. You can get it any single way. They went, obviously, they went to Pennsylvania, went through his rubbish. People think he's OCD. Some people think he's not. People said that he's vegan. He won't, if he's eating somewhere, you got to get new pants. There's so many rumors out there.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I'm trying to get at. No matter what you listen to, there's so many rumors. That's why I try to keep everything to the facts, like you say. But unfortunately, Trinity, facts are boring, and people want to make stuff up. And that's the reality of it. So if you see something, people just jump on it and go, this is factual, this is fact. Well, in fact, most things that we're hearing, none of it's true, because unless it's in, as you say, in court documents, you can't believe anything.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, most people fall for that and go, don't realize that. And because of that, they've already made their minds up whether he's guilty or whether he is not guilty. And both sides, my stance on it is he's innocent. It's not to say he'll be found not guilty. It's not to be said he'll be found guilty. I have no idea. All I know is he's innocent currently, so he deserves a fair trial. And we did a video last week about the social media aspect and mainstream media, people pushing. We got Coffin Duffer. Do you follow Coffin Duffer, or do you?
I don't, because I've heard kind of quite a bit of things, so I'm kind of iffy about that.
Yeah, I
haven't followed her yet.
Coffin Duffer, she's full of misinformation, right? But I don't follow. I keep an eye on her because I never believe anything she says. Never, ever believe it. But it goes back to the whole thing again about I'll look at various things. I can decipher what's true, what's not.
Right.
In the same way that you got someone like Sleuthy Goosey, which I'm sure you've heard about on X, on Twitter, who was just amazing in outlining all these things and documents and stuff. So, but even then, you still got to make your own mind up. You look at the documents yourself. She'll give an opinion. Don't take her opinion as gospel.
Right.
Because she's very much in one camp and someone else is in another camp. But I do think that, the only evidence is the documents. So, yeah, I don't know where we're actually going with this in the sense of it's frustrating that he's still known as a bushy eyebrow guy that has touch DNA. So what's your experience in touch DNA? Do you know anything about touch DNA at all from your work?
I'm not real. I mean, I'm obviously used to those aspects of evidence, but I'm not real into all the details. I do know that I've seen many cases that have been won based off touch DNA because who's to say that, example, I might have touched it, and then whenever he took it to so-and-so's house, my touch DNA is on that. Now, that's just an example. So touch DNA can be easily defended in court. So that's just kind of my experience.
No, and that's fine. I mean, that's the whole point. It's easily transferable. I think that's the point we're trying to make here. That not everyone understands. Because most people think that touch DNA is essentially DNA, and once you put the word DNA out there, people are then just like, yeah, well, there we are. I told you it's DNA. He's guilty. Done.
Yeah.
Well, move on to the next one, which is obviously frustrating because it's not. So yeah, I mean, I also hope most people in my chat here, they also obviously know that touch DNA means nothing, but to the general population, touch DNA means everything. So that's why he is now guilty based on that. Which is frustrating that the media are so dangerous. The media plays such a dangerous game with these things, and it's. I've been told before about with Alex Murdaugh about be told to fuck off back to Wales because who are you? You know nothing about this case. You don't know South Carolina. You haven't. Netflix told us that he was guilty. This podcast told us he's guilty. Unfortunately, there's some intelligent people out there that listen to these things and make their minds up on documentaries and on podcasts and stuff. But where you're coming from, your place of work is everything is based on evidence. And your point on this is there's not much evidence out there because everything's under seal. But it is interesting what you said about defense having received everything. The state also said in the last hearing that they can understand some of that frustration because they're still waiting for evidence themselves. So it's not just directly from the defense, from the prosecution, sorry. There's also other places they're waiting for as well. So I think that was interesting. They acknowledged that it could be frustrating. So how long do you normally, in your experience, then, do you think that, when do you think realistically this trial is going to happen?
I would agree with, I would agree that it would be around 2025 at the least, just because there's so many aspects into this case. The fact that it was a brutal murder, there's so much evidence, and they've accumulated so much that, I mean, there's a lot of aspects to this case, and it's going to be a lot longer. Most people think a case is like, oh, let's go to court and decide one time. It's never that way. Never. Sometimes it's a waste of time because you have smaller cases which should have already been resolved, and then you have cases like this which are so detailed that it's going to take a while. Unfortunately for the victims' parents, it's going to be really hard.
I'm glad you brought the victims' parents because I think a lot of people misconstrue what people like myself and yourself actually. We're pro. I would say pro defense in the sense of pro defend and ensure it's a fair trial, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we are anti-victim or active-victim families. I've always been a staunch supporter of, that it takes time to get this together. And look at where we are with Murdaugh now. Look at the mess we're in. This is going to be a mess for like next 15, 20 years possibly because they didn't get it right the first time. And I'm not talking about the verdict now. I'm talking about the processes they followed, the fact that they put the financial crimes in there and stuff like that. They rushed it. This is why for Bryan Kohberger it's so important. Because if you can imagine the victims' families, for every appeal, they have to go through it all again. There's no day they go without. So if it takes an extra year, takes an extra 18 months, so be it, as far as I'm concerned.
Me too. I agree. I think that we need everything out on the table, and not just out on the table, but they need to dissect every aspect of it because we're talking about convicting someone on. And another thing, that's another big aspect. That's what's going to make this case. That's what's going to take this even longer, is because we're looking at a death penalty case, a potential death penalty case. So I mean, it's going to take a lot more, because you're not just talking about putting someone in prison the rest of their life. We're talking about a death penalty. So this is a big deal.
Yeah. Whilst we're here, I'll just announce now. So if any of you Erin Tackle members I've got a question, you want to call in, message me on Discord and I can send you a link. You don't have to be on screen. You have to be on screen, but your face doesn't have to be on screen. You just need to be connected to the audio. You can do it from your phone. You just need to just click the link, bang, comes straight through, and you can ask any questions to myself or Trinity. But the offer is only open for Erin Tackle members and above. So, and you need to be in Discord already. So if you're in Discord already, message me. I can send you a link, all right? And you can ask us any question you want on Murdaugh, on Kohberger, or even on Trinity yourself, whatever you want, or even on me if you want. Feel free to ask some questions. Now, we've got Dave here. Dave, let's stir it. Where we are. BK, Bryan Kohberger is stalling because he's burnt toast. David, a closed mind is a terrible thing to waste. Yes. I'd like to see him go to prison for more than just teach DNA and put them. Jonathan, I think you summed it up well there, Jonathan. You can't be convicted just on that. There has to be something more. And there might well be more. There might well be more. We just haven't seen it. And Stelbright will convict him. I love Dave, but no alibi. Dave, yes. We don't know everything. We don't know everything yet, David. I think that's the point. Dave, I know you're Washington, you're close there. Dave's from Oregon, that kind of. So he hears a lot more than we do, and he's involved in a lot more. But I think this is what I mean. There's so much misinformation out there as well. People are saying about the cell data, they're going to place him in the house. You know, they're saying he's going to be in the house. But it's like, well, how do you know that? There's nothing to show that yet. So,
right.
I think that's the problem. Tim, you just do that to keep me out. No, I don't. It's a members thing. I just want to keep it to members because I don't want just anybody phoning in. And we probably won't have any phone calls today. It's the first time we tried it, but it's no problems. There's no phone calls, guys. It's fine. I know the Crumbly trial is on at the minute as well, and there's other trials on, so people are still watching those as we speak here. So it's fine. So it's got to be more than Sheath. Yes, I agree. It is interesting how he got on the Sheath. I know there's more documents gone out there to look at stuff, but there's one document here. I'll get up here because this is about the suspect Bryan seek change of trial venue. So let's have a look at this. Present this one. Here we go. Swan Taylor, obviously Bryan's attorney, lead public defender this week, asked Judge John Judge of Idaho's second judicial district in Latta County to schedule a hearing no earlier than the end of April to hear arguments on the potential move. A fair and impartial jury could not be found in Latta County owing to the extensive inflammatory pre-trial publicity allegations made about Mr. Kohberger to the public by media that were inadmissible at this trial. The small size of the community, the salacious nature of the alleged crimes and severity of the charges Mr. Kohberger faces, Taylor wrote. What do you think about that?
I think that I think it's going to be difficult to find a jury, to be honest with you, because it's pretty public, and I don't think you're going to really find a jury that's not going to be influenced just a tad bit by the media. But I think that I think in this aspect, the best thing that's going to have to occur is the defense is just going to have a really good, strong evidence and defense when they come in there to convince the jury otherwise. So basically that's going to be their only chances if there's a good defense on this trial.
Yeah, I think, I agree, totally agree. I just think that in order for the difficulty here is they're going to have to get jurors and alternates that, I believe, anyway, this is again speculation, but I believe this is true, that are special jurors, because the kind of jurors that will be placed for death penalty. So the jurors need to be able to agree to the death penalty, which is quite hard, because I couldn't do that. I personally couldn't do it. No. So you're going to have another level of thinking on that one. And I don't think you're going to get, because I also think that this is going to go on for months. So I think not only do you have 12 jurors, you're going to have probably 8 to 10 alternates. So if you have 20 people, I don't think you're going to get 20 people from Latter County that is going to agree to the death penalty or be open to the thought of death penalty. There's talk about taking it to to Boise State. I'm not familiar with Boise, but I know it's a big city, which I think is about a couple of hours away from Washington, from where this happened. So maybe that's an option, but the problem with that is obviously, do you travel there every day? Where does Bryan go? Is he, there's logistically there's problems with that, but it's
and also finding a jury that's like you said, like a jury in that area that agrees to the death penalty is going to be even more difficult. Just finding that many juries alone that agree with the death penalty, but you're also looking at the death penalty in that area or close to that area, so that's going to be pretty difficult.
It's difficult, but I think from what I know from Boise, they say it's more likely they can get that, but you're never going to get that in a small Idaho, basically village compared to what a big city is. So I don't know. It's a difficult one. I mean, in terms of the death penalty, what's your thoughts? Not to try to get deep with you about it, but have you got any thoughts about it at all? In general now, not just
for me, I don't, and just in general, it's hard, but I don't want to say that I'm not, because I've seen very few cases that I would agree on the death penalty, but then again, I'm so iffy about it because I can't say that I would 100% agree on the death penalty. I just can't, because personally, I don't care how much evidence that you have. You don't know if somebody else has implanted that evidence. I mean, it's just too risky, in my opinion, to take a life of someone else based off of the evidence presented.
No.
So it'd be difficult.
I mean,
I don't agree
where's
so
the line?
much.
Yeah, where's the line? I totally agree with you. Before I get into my little rant on it, as some of you know, if you're Tackle members, you know that I owe 15 memberships. So I'm going to give 5 memberships out now to some of you, if I can. Can I even do that? I don't know how to do it now. I forgot how to do it. Switch account. I got a personal account and then another account. I never remember how to do these things. I think I'll figure it out. Subscribe. See, this is what happens on YouTube. What? I have to join as well. Okay, I'll join. Bear with me. This is a nightmare. I thought this would be easy, but it's not. Continue. This is insight into how difficult it is to be a YouTube to give money away. So I've got an incentive that every month I'll give either memberships away or donations to the Zachariah Anderson Fund. And people, if you don't know what the Zachariah Anderson trial is, please go investigate it. Please go and look at the GoFundMe. Hang on, we get this right. Agree? What am I doing? Agree, yes. Wrongfulpod.com if you want. Hang on. Wrongfulpod.com means damn you. I don't know, I'll try and finish that now. For some reason, I think I'm on a VPN, which means I can't. do this Surfshark. There we are. Let's go Surfshark for a second. Disconnect. I need to disconnect, and then I'll be with you. Maybe this is why I couldn't. Membership gifting. Right, I'll gift 5 out now, and then I'll do the 10 tomorrow, guys, with maths on and stuff. I can't do it. You won't let me. Oh, well, I tried. Now with frozen screen. Anyway, sorry. I got sidetracked. I did try and give away memberships, but unfortunately, it doesn't let me. I will try later on again, just in case. But for whatever reason, it does not let me do it. So sorry, Paul, because I did try. One more try, and then membership gifting 5. I don't know why it doesn't let me do it. Or maybe it has this time. Fingers crossed to everybody. Fingers crossed. Something's happening. I think it did. Yeah, there we are. It's gone through. So I've just gifted 5 Alternate Corner memberships. So congratulations to Tim, Dandy, Nunya, Perry. Nunya, you had one, didn't you? Oh, no, that's you. Not you, sorry. Emma and Chrissy. So that's Tim, Dandy, Perry, Emma, and Chrissy. Congratulations, guys, on becoming an Airing Tackle member. Right. Okay. So we were talking about death penalty. So obviously from the UK, I come from the UK, and I would find it very hard from the death penalty. And I think that if you don't see it actually happening, then how can you 100% be certain? It is my only, you know, I don't know. It's just, I understand it, and if he plays guilty, I get it, but man, can you imagine if it turns out, like we see people being acquitted years later, and it's like, imagine if they lost their lives, you know, and there's new, because technology and evidence develops all the time. I just don't feel comfortable doing it. I don't think I ever would be comfortable doing it, and I don't know many that would. Now, obviously, if you see it and it's videoed and it's clear as day that you just taken someone's life, then you know that's possibly different. Even that, I'm not sure. You know, life for life, is that what you should have? I don't. That's another debate, you know. But yeah, I don't know. I just. In the UK, we don't have it, and I'm happy we don't have it. We got abolished it, and I'm happy we abolished it for that very reason. So that's why I think it'd be hard to see, because obviously we did read it out. The first option, I believe, is lethal injection that Bryan, if found guilty, would have. An option 4, if not, then it's the firing squad, which is the second option. That's not, you know, I don't know. Nowhere's Perry, nowhere's Dandy, it's all good. I know where's Tim, that's fine. So yeah, anyway, we got off the subject there a little bit. The UK has a death penalty, it does not have a death penalty, Tim. Bryan Kohberger is a former criminal justice student at Washington State in nearby Pullman, Washington. Is charged with 4 counts of murder. The deaths of Ethan Chapin, Zainab Canodal, Marcin Morgan, and Kaylee Gonzalez at a rental home near the University campus. Later, county prosecutor says he opposes the change of venue, stating that later county first deserved the chance to seat the jury because the crime occurred there. Moving the trial elsewhere would have no material effect on potential jurors' familiarity with the case, he said, because it has been alleged. Right, so it's been gained national and international notoriety, I agree, but I think we go back again to the whole point about you can never seat, I don't think, 20 fair jurors, in my opinion, that would agree on the death penalty.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, also Tim, that's never going to happen, Tim. They will never give death penalty for treason. Yeah, so I think I get what he's saying, right? I do get what Billy's saying here, right? Billy Thompson's saying, let's first of all give them the opportunity. But what I'm worried about in this situation is that we give them the opportunity, and there's so much anger and stuff built up in Idaho that people are just so inclined to be like, right, yeah, I'll happily sit on it, because some people want to be jurors, some people just want to be a juror, and they know about this case.
So they're
they'll
going to
want
agree to anything.
They'll want to jump on this and be like, hey, Bryan Kohberger, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some people are not like that. Some people obviously are normal, but some people are sickos. That's the point. So I don't know. I'm not sure I'd want to sit to the case, to be quite honest with you. It could be difficult, I think. But so that's why. So members of the media have already been barred from using cameras or devices in the courtroom. It's so when the judge, right, give the judge benefit here. When the judge, I remember the judge gave warning to Law and Crime, the Court TV, sorry, and said, hey, do not zoom in on Kohberger, wherever, because we don't want him to be zoomed in on. What they straight away do is zoom in on him. They do want to concentrate on him. So we could have really lost transparency in this trial, but the judge, thankfully, has allowed cameras in. But some people are stupid, man. The media for you again.
And something else to consider. This is kind of off the topic a little bit, but I'm not sure if you've heard about the other ID cards. They allegedly found one of the victims' ID cards inside of a glove in his vehicle, their license or ID, and there were allegedly, potentially other victims' IDs inside the glove compartment in the glove. So that's this may be a little bit twisted at the end. Who knows?
Yeah, they never confirmed who the IDs belonged to, did they? I don't believe.
No.
They were saying he was one of the victims originally, but again, this is where it goes. It jumps out. It's gone. Once you say IDs, like definitely one of the victims. So no one's told us that yet, So
yeah.
But yeah, we can come back to that as well. I just want to just finish this bit here, and then we'll discuss a bit more of that stuff as well. So in December, right, blah blah blah. Right, I'll leave the demolished house for a second because I'll come back to that. So obviously they want the dates. The state said, next year is reasonable. They think that this summer, 2024 should be the trial date. And obviously the defense are like, no, 2025. And then I think they're going to meet in the middle somewhere, March 2025, I believe, from what I've read everywhere, is possibly where they land on. But I still don't think that would mean the trial happens in March. I think it'll probably be pushed forward even more. So, but you've said that yourself earlier on. But in terms of the house, what's your thoughts about demolishing the house in Idaho?
I really originally wasn't for it. I'm still not kind of for it. I feel like I don't think it would hurt to leave it. What's the point in destroying it, really, except for the fact that they stated that one of the victims' parents or the victims' siblings who still go to Idaho were bothered by it. But this is about a criminal case here. This is not. I don't think that should. At this point, it's not about that. It's about getting it. You have to set all that aside and do your job to see if we're getting the right person and to get this resolved. But they were allegedly to be making a model of the house. I'm not sure, a replica that's identical and the surroundings for the trial, but I don't know. But I think that I think it should have been left alone.
So, yeah, I agree. Overall, I think I agree. Before I go into it, Perry says Becky Hill will try and get on this jury wearing a fake moustache. She would probably want to get and write a book about it. Becky Hill would. If Becky Hill could be on the jury for Bryan Kohberger, I suspect she would try to. Yes, you're right. So I lean towards what you say. So I respect greatly Andrea Burkhardt. I do respect her a lot. For me, she's the number one person I would go to for news and information in terms of Bryan Kohberger. I'm not sure if you know Andrea or heard of Andrea Trinity. You know her on Twitter. So she's an attorney, and she's from that area. So she's been going to court. Every time the court's on, she goes to the court.
Okay.
She's excellent. She's definitely someone for you to follow. She's definitely someone to, in my opinion, listen to. Jonathan says she's pretty too. Yes, she is pretty, but not just that. She's very clever. She's actually somebody I highly, highly respect. When she speaks, I generally listen. She's of the opinion that demolition of the house makes no difference whatsoever. It is what it is. It's absolutely fine. Purely because all the data that needs to be collected has been collected. All the markings have been done. All the projections, like both sides have had ample opportunities to go in, do everything, and it has no bearing because the jury were never going to be allowed to go there. Both sides did not want the jury to go there, and it's believed the judge wasn't never going to allow the jury to go there anyway. Now, I get what she's saying here, and I think she's put herself out on a limb here because so many people are against the demolitions. And she's like, look, yes, I think Andrew would probably agree. Yes, probably better to leave it up. But in the grand scheme of things, this trial could go on for another 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know. Where do you pull the line? Is it better to say, right, everyone, get your measurements, get everything done, and then pull it down? So I've also got that conspiracy that I said in another video that I think that this probably turns Idaho into like a tourist trap for obviously people just coming in. And like you've got your JLRs out there who's out there probably filming, interrogating people, hassling people. Not very, very nice what he's doing out there in Idaho, in my opinion. That the university just want to get rid of it. And the same way that I think that it probably will see an impact in numbers, which we will know for admission numbers, for enrollments. Because in all honesty, would you really want to go and study there? No. When you go and visit, you see the house, you see the murder house. I don't know. I think personally that might put people off. I think it put me off. Mm-hmm. And it put me less off if it wasn't there anymore. I think I'd be happy to see it demolished than the thought of something's happened that you see, you walk past there and stuff. I don't know. I think that had to play in it. But yeah, my only worry with the demolition right now is, yes, we've got dimensions. Yes, we've got everything in place. My only worry is I hope they've gone through every nook and cranny. And by that, I mean, tested everything in terms of noise levels when you walk in. Was it cracks on the staircase when you walk in? What was the noise levels like? Have they done everything they possibly can to mimic that evening and stuff? And whether it's plausible to hear things, and was it any secret compartments or any? I don't know. I'm going out there a little bit here now to think what it was. I don't know, but now you've demolished
it. Too. That's the only aspect I think is maybe the jury. That is the only thing that makes me feel like they should have left it. But at the same time, that model is supposed to be suffice as if the house was still there to kind of be a model and replica and, show where he had been stalking the area and how long he had sat at one spot. So, I don't think that the house could have hurt, but I don't think that it was necessary that it stayed. I think that, like she stated, I think there was enough accumulated. Obviously, they know what they're doing, and they know what they've accumulated. He stated one of the individuals involved with the investigation had made a comment that they were 100% for sure that this was Kohberger. So I'm just kind of curious as to what they have to make a solid find, a solid find. Say, hey, this is you. Unless they have him on video, I'm not convinced.
Yeah, I don't believe anything that comes out of anybody's mouth.
Exactly.
I generally, you can put it on TikTok, you can put it anywhere. It's no point until you. Again, it just all comes to core again, and that's the unfortunate bit, that people will have heard this and already made their minds up because of the information that's out there. So no, I agree with you in the House. It was very, very. I think both sides agreed they will not put a petition for the jury to go and visit anyway. So in that case, it makes no difference. It was probably gruesome. I wouldn't want to be there. To me, I personally wouldn't want to see it. But the only things that I probably would want to know is like the stairs stuff. Would it be plausible for people on the second floor or the first floor to hear what's going on? Because obviously we know one. Well, I'm not sure what you call them. So obviously not one of the victims, but one of the housemates was downstairs. She didn't hear anything. Another one was on the second floor, allegedly, from what we believe, didn't hear anything. So, except for seeing the bushes and stuff. So I don't know. I'm not sure how loud the place was. I don't know. Those are my only question marks about noise levels and stuff like that. But then there'll be pictures of the house and how gruesome it was as well. So that'll be interesting to see, because how did he leave that house having killed 4 people with all that DNA that should be on the blood and everything should be on him, and allegedly not a speck of it was found in his car, when Coffin Duffer had made it very clear, and she's ex-FBI, by stating that no matter how clean he thinks he cleaned that car, there will always be DNA in there. And from what I've heard and what allegedly came out, there was no specks of blood, nothing in the house. That's impossible, in my opinion, to do that. How do you do that? We can speculate, I suppose, Trinity. I don't know if you've got any thoughts on that or anything.
Well, like you said, I think it'd be hard to do that. He was going about things, what seems, if he was going about things the right way. I mean, sealing his DNA up and but it's nearly, I don't want to say impossible, but it's very difficult to commit a crime that brutal, should I say, and not have some type of evidence tracing you somewhere. That was a brutal crime. We're not talking about just any crime. We're talking about a very brutal crime. So this is pretty bad. So I think it'd be very difficult not to have DNA somewhere that would lead him to the victims.
And Coffin Duffer herself said it was impossible to not leave DNA there. That's why she hung on to this back for months upon months, that they would find blood, they would find the DNA in the car, and she changed her mind then afterwards and said, "Oh no, you cleaned it very well. No, you can't clean the car. No one can professionally to that standard and not leave any speck of anything, whether it was hair, whether it was a speck of blood, whether it was a speck of skin. I don't know, skin cell, whatever. Doesn't matter." There's no. What do? Do you come out of that house, sprint out, get naked, and just strip off and just be like, right, I'm Starkers now, so I'll jump in the car? But even then, you still got your hands and stuff. There's going to be something somewhere in that car, but you're not going to drive around naked like whatever time in the morning. Maybe.
And the amount of time was like consistent with if he would have ran and got in the car and left. Yeah. The time was consistent with if he would have done that, not if he would have washed his hands, cleaned them off, put a different glove on, change his clothes.
Yeah.
I don't know. This blew my mind.
Yeah, no, we can go through. I mean, we're paraphrasing here, like, just so you know. I mean, look, we haven't got notes in front of us for this. It's more paraphrasing. We're just discussing things. I'm just going to check if someone on Discord has said to me they want to ask. No one on Discord has messaged me. So, but no, I didn't expect anyone to. But hopefully, in the next coming weeks, people will want to come on and ask some questions. It'd be always nice to see you guys to ask any stuff. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it. That's, I'm always staunch of innocent unless proven guilty. Man, it's intriguing. This case is intriguing. I think this is
Mhm.
probably the most intriguing case I've seen. I don't see Murdoch that intriguing, if I'm being honest, anymore. Karen Reid, I don't find intriguing in the sense of I don't understand why Karen Reid was arrested, personally, after reading some of the documents. But Kohberger, man, do you know what I mean? This is what they got, Trinity. Come on, let's break in
Yeah.
there. Let's see what they got, you know?
And it's like the way his route through the house, which you would agree, we'll have some more interesting things next Friday that we can present and stuff. But the way that he just went through the house and it was as if he, people said, well, who was he targeting? Well, it was one of the two because he went to those two rooms. Yeah. And in that amount of time, it doesn't look as if he had went to a different room. It looks as if he went directly to those rooms. That was what was ironic.
So, but some people are still saying, no, they went to Zaina and Ethan were gone first and then upstairs. But I don't believe that for a second. I think he went upstairs. But it's an interesting video that came out last week as well. Oh, I'm not sure if I got it here. If I got it here somewhere, I'll play it. I just need to find it now. Zach. That's Wendy H. Bryan, and maybe it's. I'm sure I got it here somewhere. Oh, here we go. I think I got it here. Hang on, bear with me 2 seconds, just to see if this is the one.
Trial date to be set.
Yes, I think so. So this is an interesting video that I played last week, but bugger it, we'll play it again this week because Trinity's here. So let's spoil her. Let's get her a video up, shall we? Right, I need to upload this, I think. Present. Video file. What's it called? Oh, verdict. No verdict. Right, I've got it here.
To be set.
We're just left.
The trial
Right.
date
Can you hear that? All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Right.
to be set.
We're just left in limbo.
This morning, Kaylee Gonzalez's parents sharing exclusively with GMA never-before-seen pictures and videos of their 21-year-old daughter.
There's a type of, you can season with these, and can't really season with them, but you can cook with them.
Yeah, I know that's in front of the tower.
Yeah.
This is in front of the University of Idaho Tower.
The family still waiting on a full digital copy of Kaylee's phone from authorities.
These are the last moments of your child's life, and you're sitting here fighting with somebody who just doesn't care.
They were able to collect some of Kaylee's belongings from the university over the summer, which raised concerns for them about how well possible evidence was processed, including a trash can from Kaylee's room that was full and appeared untouched.
We opened it. It was a little squeezy applesauce thing like you would give to a toddler.
Yeah.
It did not appear to have been gone through.
Police saying they had gathered more than 100 pieces of physical evidence from the scene, along with some 4,000 photos and 3D scans of the residence. Still, frustration mounting for the family over what they consider a lack of communication and a rush to tear down the home on King Road. Christy describes for the first time how Kaylee was found.
It's my understanding Kaylee was kind of sitting up and had fought.
Yeah. And the way that room's put together, if you come through that door, you can't get out of that room.
Completely, totally trapped.
Yeah. You're in
Tiny,
the bed.
tiny room. The bed was the entire room. You could barely open up the door without swiping the foot of the bed.
So that was the interesting part for me. When they said she was killed sitting up and the room was so tiny, I didn't realize how tiny it was supposed to be, or that she's sitting up. What do you remember anything from this situation?
I do. I watched it. I remember that I just couldn't imagine how I could see how she would be. I'm the type of person I overthink things sometimes, but I just couldn't understand how she would be slumped up unless she was standing up on the bed and was fighting. Standing up on the bed, and then maybe once he killed her, she fell backwards and was still leaned up. I'm not sure, but I still don't see where they're talking about whenever you open the door. that it's just all bed, because based on the images, the layout of the house, it doesn't seem that way.
I'd be trying to look for images, to be honest. I'm not sure if you got any.
Yeah, I have a few.
Next week.
Yeah, we'll go over that next week.
Yeah, that's why. Because I had the map of the house and I did a tour of the house and stuff, but I'd have to go looking for that again to see where that is. Because I did a whole tour of it, and it didn't look that. It looked small, yes, but it didn't look that small.
Yeah.
So obviously there's going to be images and stuff like that corroborate whichever way it was. But I was just a little bit surprised with the comments, especially a little bit surprised that they're coming out with these comments as well.
Me too. I'm just curious how she knew, like if the police had to have. I guess she asked, and maybe they told her. I don't know if they've shown her images. I'm the type, I love all aspects of a criminal case, and a homicide is. I love to. I'm curious about the images. I have a few images, but just what everyone else basically has, not what the real details of the case. I'm just so curious about how blood was so that it came through the house or came through to the outside of the house. I'm just all these little aspects, but I don't see how the room was that small.
No, well, we got, and this is what I mean, basing off Ethan and that room. I've got pictures of showing them before the blood and stuff, but I'll try and get some more pictures. And just so for your reference, you should be able to see at the bottom of this. It says present, and at present it says you can like share screen for stuff. So or whatever. So next week, if you got stuff, you can share stuff on your side. So just so you know, if you got anything, happily, like I think I control it, but you can upload it. We can go through it then. So
awesome.
So just in case. Thank you, DD. I'm not sure what I've done there, but not a problem. I don't know what I've done though, but thank you. Right, let's finish the clip here and see what else.
And it was wall. The headboard was up against the wall. The side where Kaylee was on was up against the wall. And if you can imagine Kaylee in an upright sort of position, up in the corner, slumped. I mean, she was trapped.
The home on King Road was torn down in the pre-dawn hours of December 28th. Now, the first of the two hearings today is closed to the public. The judge is also holding a scheduling conference.
There we are. We know that anyway. It's been done now. So, interesting. And the other bits that were interesting, I think, if I could find it here again, they were talking about some of the things that they were given back. It said that they had the 100 plus pieces of physical evidence, around 4,000 photos, 3D scans of residents. So there's a lot of stuff there. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff there.
What?
And they were saying that they had the bin, was it, back from her room, and it seemed to be untouched to them, which I find that quite hard to believe. Because, Jesus Christ, if that's true, then how can you trust anything to do with this?
But then again, think about it. The glove that was found by that detective, the retired detective that was just going by the house, he noticed the glove that was on the ground. Who knows? That might be an important aspect. So, I mean, it's like, what?
Yeah, no, when I say I can't believe it, it's just like, what are we doing?
It's shocking to think that.
Yeah, because, I've seen cases. I'm not sure if you've seen some cases. Like, I'm not sure if you heard about Zachariah Anderson case, and that was a big case that I truly believe is an innocent man in prison, and that was shoddy police work. No body was ever found, but he got convicted, and there was no evidence. Basically, he was convicted on touch DNA, essentially, which is disgusting to think about. I just hope that this is not going on the same line. Shoddy police work where they hide it and justify it. And my worry about this case is that we're going to be bogged down with so much nonsense, like 4,000 pieces of evidence. I don't want to see the nonsense. I just want to see the facts. I just want to see, right, why is he guilty? And I'm covering the trial in a minute, Krieger trial. Like, all we've had for like 30 days is just nonsense. Give me the evidence. And I sometimes caution because I think sometimes they bog the jury down and spin it and just give them so much information that they stick stuff in that is not even relevant, but to the jury they might think it's relevant afterwards. So I don't know. Well, as you say, next week we'll have more. I'll try and look and see if I can get some of the. I've done no old videos on these things now, but I'll check what I've got. If the tour or stuff say, but if you got some pictures, I got some pictures, I'm sure. So if you got documents, we can go through some documents. We can hit our heads together next week. We'll go through some stuff on it. But for this case, it's where do you start? It's not. There's not enough for you. Where do you start with it? So.
Right. And another thing I think that would be really interesting is we may have like some interviews. I've been in talks with some of Kohberger's neighbors and things that we might be able to get into, and that would be really interesting to get into who he is as a person.
Yeah, definitely. If anything like that can happen, it's great. Like I do Matthew Moore every Saturday. He was, accused of killing his wife, got found innocent. So to have an insight into stuff like that is always good about family members and Bryan himself and anything like that is always good. We always try to keep an eye on it, but who do you believe? So yeah, and even with neighbours and friends and stuff, you've got to take it with a pinch of salt, but it's still also quite nice to hear from other people. So Jonathan's just saying, I'm so glad it's not just me on Give Me Evidence, no theatre, what if court. It's surprising too many stupid people in the world that will say guilty without evidence. There is, and especially when you've got DAs and stuff that spin lies. But
Absolutely. Yeah.
Spin a web of lies, but right. Have you got anything else you want to discuss right now, or
not right now.
Not right now. Okay. How are you feeling? How are you doing? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited to get into the depthness of this whole case for everyone.
Good.
Yeah.
This is your obviously first time doing this, as in properly. I mean, it takes time to get into it, so you've done well. I mean, I've obviously spoken too much, but that's the way I am.
No, you've done a great job. You did a great job.
We'll have a lot more people that are on replay watching this, so I hope that everyone goes and supports Trinity and goes to subscribe to it, because if you haven't, why the fuck have you not? The YouTube is getting there. You can see it. Just put a legal review into into YouTube, and you'll see there. I know Perry's done it. Hopefully, a few other people will do it. But people are lazy, Trinity. You have to keep on at them to do it. People are lazy. So in the next coming weeks, people will start to subscribe. It's just more, do I have to do it now? It's like, yes, you do have to do it now. So
right now.
Do it. So once people get to know you as well, and think that you've got your own personality, it's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to it. I don't like we're different because you like to plan. I don't like to plan too much in advance because I like to give honest reactions on stuff. So next week you'll bring stuff, I'll bring stuff. We'll just mosh it together.
Oh yes.
Do stuff with it. So it's all good. So I think we'll end it there. In terms of this video, I'll be downloading this with Trinity. She'll upload it on her page just to get started, and we will rectify you being able to record. Lady Law knows how to do it because she does it all the time on my videos, but I don't know how you do it. We'll ask her in advance of how you can make sure you're recorded on your end as well. So, but thanks to the chat. I know most of you are watching Crumbly right now. The Crumbly, I'm not sure if you keep up to date. Have you seen the Jennifer Crumbly trial?
I have not, but I plan on looking at it. I'm going to review a few cases that you guys have been watching that I haven't been involved in, but I'm definitely going to get up to date on that case.
So I think it's a Verdict Watch right now. So that's where most people are now, watching Verdict Watch now. I know most of the people that normally would be here are watching that. Some of them are mods on the channels and stuff like that. So I know they'll be part of replay crew with those. So shout out to all of you people. Lady Law, I don't log. No, Lady Law, honest question though, right? Honest question, Lady Law. So I just stream it. Yeah, no, but that was an honest question. That wasn't a take of the piss question. So how does Trinity? How do you do it though from my stream? Because we tried to do the same to Trinity, but we didn't manage to do it. So if you can inform me how you do it, I was tongue in cheek when I said the other thing I said. But how do you do it so Trinity can do it next time? Jonathan, I like Trinity. She's smart. You definitely got to cover some more trial content. The accent makes me feel at home too. Here you are. So Lilo says from StreamYard, there's a button on the top right side, right? We know there's a button there, yes. You're aware of this button, aren't you, Trinity? Top right hand side. So what Lilo's doing?
Stream this to your audience, is that right, Lady Law?
Yeah, it would be that. Well, we'll see what she says now. Because she's grumpy with me now, so we'll see what she says. It says stream also, yeah, so stream to your audience. Yeah, that's the one she says. Stream to your audience.
Okay. I see that. Should I hit it now or wait until after the
Well, hit it now. Hit it now. Because let's see if it works.
Okay. When I hit that, I add the destination, and then once I go down to YouTube channel, let's see what it says. Continue. Allow. Okay, it says waiting for your YouTube to activate your account. If you just enabled live streaming, you'll need to wait hours for YouTube to activate.
Have you enabled it?
I thought it was.
So it takes only 24 hours minimum to enable it. So just double check that then.
Okay.
Studio, if you have.
Okay.
That's the reason why. That'd be the reason why. It's a pain in the ass. So Lilo says once it's all set up, she goes, it'll be there next time. So next time it's streamed, you should be able to just hit it and it's done.
Okay.
But make sure that you've done the whole thing in studio. I don't remember what to do, but there's instructions in any way that allows you then. I think if you press live in studio, it then goes through instructions of how to do it if you haven't done it before.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's a pain in the butt. It is. So I think this much love.
That's why it said 22 hours before you can stream it. Remember, I told you it said 22 hours before your live stream. That's why. That's
why. So by the time next week, you'll be able to stream.
Okay.
So that's what that is. So in a way, that's good. I didn't even think about that. I didn't even know about that. So Jonathan's right. It's a boomer learning curve filter. We're all boomers here, so don't worry about it. So next week, what we'll do is you don't have to do anything. You come in here, you press that button once we go live, and then essentially that's all you have to do. And then you can do a little thumbnail for yourself if you want. That'll go with it, which is nothing. You've done thumbnails, you've seen them, they're great. They're just pictures, they're not a video, they're just a picture. I'll go with it, done.
Okay, awesome.
But we'll talk about offline now in a second. So they put them on all the subscription constant web pages too, like Amazon Prime website. Tell everyone your YouTube channel. I've just shared it. See, Law thinks I'm unprofessional. But I did just share it. But we'll share again. What's
my Twitter handle. I apologize. My handle is a Trinity Moses 10, and then my channel name is TRM Legal Review.
There you are. So all go subscribe to her. It's in the description box as well. For my description box is in there, so you can just, what do you call it? Click in there, go into the description box. The link's in there. Press it, go over. And she's not even listening. I know Gilf is not even listening. So just Gilf is the law. We call her the Gilf. So she is the resident Gilf here. Some multitasking. All right. It's all good. So with that, thank you everybody. It's lovely to have Trinity here. You know,
Thank
we're
you,
one of
guys.
the best people on here. Yeah, it's been great having you. I think you've been a natural. First time, been great. You know, so
Thank
you
you.
can be proud
Thank
of
you.
yourself. Right, guys. Love you as always, guys. We'll see you tomorrow for Matthew Moore on this channel at 11 o'clock Eastern. But with that, hopefully you will enjoy the crumbly verdict, wherever you're doing on a Friday night. But yeah, I'm off. So
Okay,
we'll do
thank
the
you, guys.
outro. And yeah, we'll speak later. Let me find the outro first. This is where I'm struggling. Peace out.